Welcome to Charts Today. It is Friday, the 10th of July, and as the weekend beckons, I'm racing around the Isle of Wight on a yacht this weekend. Probably the 20th time I've done it. So just a quick look at markets before we head into the weekend. The Nasdaq did actually generate a new upside price target off that buying thrust yesterday. So that's good news. We see the price sort of narrowing in. This could be a consolidation pattern where we have a move, sideways move, and then a break. We have seen the downside targets being met. This target would really be stronger if we were making new highs. The last high was set on the 2nd of June, 3rd of June. So really breaking that level would be pretty key. And of course, if we move below this level yesterday set, then that target would be negated and would disappear off the chart. Those bulls have disappeared effectively. We do have down 0.5% on the future this morning, so it does suggest that the US market will open lower. We're seeing that also. The S&P is down 0.2%. So for the moment, it looks like US markets opening lower. But of course, the longer term picture is still pretty bullish for these markets. It's just this short term consolidation phase. So that's it for the Nasdaq. Looking at the dollar index, that's just struggling on the short term chart. We are back below the cloud there. We did have this upside target on the daily chart, but the reality is we are just not managing to hold that level. Sterling, looking at UK pound, it is looking pretty strong. Notice how that target was given back at 132.70 to 134.70. We did get as high as 134.50, so quite close to that. And if we look at Bitcoin, that is actually a little bit higher. We need to break on the short-term chart this high of 64,540. And if we look at the daily chart, we do have an upside target, but that is counter trend. It would be a brave person who takes that trade for a long time, because each time we've had a rise, that sets us up for another fall. So that's the picture on Bitcoin. Looking at other markets, we're seeing the DAX in Germany fairly flat, the UK market also fairly flat. A very quiet day across the board, really. And we're not seeing any big changes. Japan was up 0.5%. That market still in a strong uptrend on that weaker yen, really stronger earnings for Japanese companies. The Sensex, waiting to see if we can activate this other upside target. We have one activated already. We need to move really above 80,000. That was the previous support level, which was broken, which was bad news. We need to get back above 80,000 and find some support there. The Aussie market was up 0.5% yesterday. We've still got targets in either directions. If you look at the short-term chart, it's a really bit of a mixed picture. And we're seeing crude oil also has fallen back a bit. We were neutral today, basically. We do have a downside target, but we are still in an uptrend on that short-term chart, even though the price is breaking below the lagging lines above. So we wouldn't be surprised to see that downside target not met. Big move in coffee this morning. So that's really quite interesting. And we're seeing big upside targets there on the medium-term chart, breaking out, really quite key. Sugar falling back. The key thing here is this going to set us up for another low? And if we look at the short-term chart, we do have these upside targets still in place, but we do need to just keep an eye on that. Now, gold, this is the big one, between 4,000 and 4,200. That's the level that we have to watch, which way we're going to break. Can we see the beginning of a longer term recovery? Down 0.5%, sugar down nearly 1%. Silver down nearly 1%. So not really that clear. Palladium actually bucking the trend. That is up. And we can see here we've got an upside target on the daily chart, not yet activated. We don't have those targets yet on gold on the daily or silver, but it is interesting that we are seeing that on Palladium. US markets, we saw SpaceX recovering a little bit off that that IPO level 150. We do have a new upside target there to 160. that 150 level's super critical because there is lots of people in loss below that. We saw a mixed picture really on the major tech indices, with Apple just trying to break to a new high, did close at a new high, so that is significant. Amazon nowhere near making a new high on the 60-minute, but looking back above the cloud there. Google falling back 0.7%, but also going for recovery. And Microsoft, which has been a sorry picture, move yesterday, just very small, but on the whole, Microsoft is looking pretty bearish. Nvidia gave up 6.6%, and Tesla were up 3%, so we did see an improvement there. Looking at the Dow 30, we can see that it was mostly lower. There were a handful of defensive stocks really that were better off there, and on the Nasdaq we had ARM getting it back 9%. So that's really been quite key. A huge rise. That downside target a worry, but seeming to find a floor at around $300. So that's really quite key. That's it for today. A really quiet day generally going into the weekend, especially for stocks. So keep an eye on the targets. Until Monday, have a great weekend. Stay cool. Bye for now.